Sonnet 5, Opus 5, Fable 5. Three Claude models, three different prices. And if you've opened this picker in the last month, you've probably picked the same one out of habit without actually checking whether it's the right call. So in this video, I wanted to test what each of these models is actually built for, what is their different actual weak point, and what is the reason that you should be using one or the other. Because if you're anything like me, you probably are just defaulting to the same one every single time. And I'm also going to talk about a setting that is buried that every single one of these has access to that changes the whole equation. So hold on to that. Really, we're getting down to buying the capability that you'll use and not the name on the model picker. Okay, so let's talk pricing very quickly. So Sonnet 5 runs $2 in, $10 out per million tokens through the end of August, and then 3 and 15 after that. Opus is 5 and 25. Fable is 10 and 50, exactly double what Opus cost. And if you check the back end of your usage model, you'll find out that Fable 5 has its own meter. And there was a wave of reporting this summer that said that Fable had been pulled out of the Pro, Max, Team, and Enterprise plans, and that if you were going to use it, you would be billed separate credits on top of your subscription. I checked my own account before filming this video, and on my Max plan, it was completely available and usable and being tracked. So Fable's still included, but it's the only model that has a separate weekly limit tracked apart from everything else. So now that the question is, we're not paying for Fable separately, but you still need to keep an eye on your dedicated allowance, because the more that you use the higher end models when you don't need to, the faster that you're actually going to burn your usage and not be able to do the things that you need to do. Open this screen yourself before you assume that you have access to everything. Okay, so let's talk about that little setting that no one opens before we jump into the test, because I think it's going to be really important when we start talking about the intelligence level of each of these. And that setting is effort. So you can run it low, medium, high. You can have extra and max above on some models. And this little dial controls how much the model thinks before it answers, which is really important because it does use more credits, but it also gives you the ability to get to that next level without actually having to use the Fable level intelligence. One other thing worth noting right now is Fable is always set to always on thinking, and it cannot be switched off. So if you want to use Fable, effort is the only lever that you really have to control how much thinking it actually does. Okay, so the first test that we're going to run is the quick task. So what is this test really testing? So this quick task is going to be your 50 times a day kind of moments. The, hey, can you clean this up really quick type of messages, the 2-sentence Slack rewrite, the 1-line email, the stuff you fire off between meetings without thinking much about what model you've selected. So we're giving each of these models the same task. So same simple task, all three models, everything is left on default, the way that Claude has it set automatically. So this is going to be a quick 2-sentence rewrite of a Slack message so that it reads professional, and we're asking it to also give us a subject line. Sonnet came back in 1 minute and 4 seconds. Very, very fast. Opus took 1 minute and 42 seconds, and Fable took 1 minute 40, essentially tied with Opus. So that might not seem like a huge difference, but here's the part that I didn't expect. So I built this test to catch Fable overthinking with a small job, and it did overthink because it just can't help it, because the thinking again is always on. But Opus took also just as long because the default on Opus on the effort dial is defaulted to high, not medium. So Sonnet was the only one out of the three of these that actually treated a small job like a small job. So if you've been using Fable or Opus and just being really frustrated with how slow it's been feeling on quick things that really shouldn't take that long, first check the effort level. But then you have to think about your allowance, because Fable still loses on this test on cost, not just time. While Sonnet and Opus both spent time on the task, Fable spent time and drew down the separate weekly allowance that we just looked at roughly 5 times Sonnet's rate for every token that it thought with. So the 142 that it took to think is 5 times more than the Sonnet rate that took 1 minute. So for things like the 50 times a day tasks, that's real repeatable damage with a limited allowance pool that you have. So the lesson on quick tasks, leave Fable closed for these. What about something like a long horizon task? So this is the type of task that you do at like the end of the quarter as an example. So you have a messy multi-file reconciliation that lands on someone's desk with conflicting numbers, a foreign currency line, and a duplicate that no one caught. And you can think of this as the kind of job that used to take you a whole afternoon to do. So again, I gave all three models the same 3 months of real shaped expense data across 2 mismatched export tools, a duplicate charge, a euro line, a refund to net, an impossible date, and a couple of policy problems buried in there on purpose. I told them specifically not to ask me any questions and just make the call and show their work. So all three finished. Nobody asked a single question. No one stalled. Nobody lost the thread halfway through. But that's not the test that we were testing here. I wanted to try and catch Opus struggling on a long job, but it didn't. What I did get was 3 different totals from the exact same pile of receipts. Sonnet landed on $7,516, the highest of the 3 because it counted a duplicate twice, and it handed the whole thing back to me in a Word document. Opus landed at 7,499, which caught the duplicate, told me exactly which exchange rate that it invented for the one foreign line that was in there. And it gave me back an actual 4-tab workbook that I could open and use for recalculation. Fable landed at 7,515. It reconciled all 16 line items, flagged 8 separate judgment calls, and also came back as a document, not a workbook. So the real finding here isn't which tool breaks automatically, it's which version can you actually trust when you have to present something like this to the CFO without redoing all the work yourself. And only one of these 3 gave me back a file that I could actually audit and change the number in. And if the output has to be a working spreadsheet and not just a well-written summary, that alone might be enough for you to decide. So the third test is going to be the effort ceiling. So this is the kind of test that is for the one clause in a contract, the single, wait, did we agree on this moment, where being right matters more than being fast, and where a wrong, confident answer costs you a lot more than a slow one. So we're going to do Sonnet 5 with effort pushed all the way to extra, which is an actual ceiling against Opus and Fable, running on their normal defaults. The task is going to be a vendor contract with a termination clause that has a hidden dependency. Does a notice count as valid if it was sent before an invoice was paid, even if the invoice wasn't overdue yet? And what's crazy is that all of these did get it right. Yes, the contract renews because the notice was sent before the invoice was paid. So when we look at the results, Opus said yes cleanly, Fable said yes cleanly, and specifically called out which invoice wasn't overdue but was still unpaid, which is the exact trap that I said in this question. Sonnet, at the highest level, also got there. But when you watch it, it actually first answers no and then catches itself mid-sentence and then corrects it to yes. And when you look at Sonnet's effort menu, you can see the max option is actually grayed out, completely disabled. So the cheaper model is literally not allowed to think as hard as the other 2 models, just based on the way that it's configured. So when we look at effort and the impact that it has on each individual model, more thinking allows a tool like Sonnet to have the right answer here without having to go all the way up to an Opus level. But the wobble is a bit of a tell on this kind of project. So it's not a pass or a fail in this specific instance, because if you see a model talk itself into an answer and then out of that answer, that's a signal that that project is probably too big for that model to actually work on. Okay, so what do all these results of these tests mean? None of these 3 models necessarily broke outright. What separated them was smaller and more useful to someone who uses these all the time, whose default effort quietly costs you money on small jobs, whose output format you can actually work with, and whose confidence you can actually trust without having to double check. So each one of these tools has a real specific place, and it's not just about price. So let's actually talk about the real map when it comes to using these tools. And I'm going to talk about this in terms of an edge per model, not necessarily a single winner, because you really can overlap these. But let's talk about it from a standpoint of what edge each of them have. So in anything quick, you definitely want to skip Fable. That's pretty given. Its thinking cannot be turned off even on the lowest effort. And with every small job, it burns down its own separate weekly allowance for really not much of an output. I think you can confidently use Opus when you need a working file back. While Fable can do that if you give it the instructions, Opus is more reliable. Not just for a well-written answer, but that's something that we saw in this test today. And we also learned that Sonnet, pushed to its highest effort level, is a real contender for hard, high-stakes reasoning, but it can't really compete with the high-level ceiling that Fable and Opus both have. And when we talk about that in the actual lens of what your day-to-day work looks like, let's talk about that in specific detail. So you should use Sonnet 5 on default effort for anything that you'd normally just fire off without thinking. So things like a Slack reply, a one-line email, a quick rewrite, a question that you would be asking Google. It's the only model that treated a short job like a short job. And every one of these jobs, if you're on an allowance, adds up against your weekly allowance, whichever model that you're picking. And if you have a single hard judgment call where you can still read and check the answer on yourself, try using Sonnet on the bump up for extra, not necessarily moving to Opus or Fable. Things like a contract clause, a policy question, a tricky calculation, it gets all of those answers right in the test that we had here. So when do you use Opus 5? You should use Opus 5 by default the moment that a job needs to come back with a strong working file, not just a well-written paragraph about the document. So let's say something like a spreadsheet that you'd open, a report someone else edits, anything with numbers that needs to keep working after you close the chat. And Opus is perfect for those kind of in the middle projects that are things that would take you a whole afternoon, but kind of have everything filled in. Projects that you already know what the outcome should look like, and you just need the help to figure out what that looks like in between. And Fable 5. Only reach for Fable 5 on something long enough and ambiguous enough that you're genuinely willing to spend double the Opus rate and burn your weekly allowance for things like multi-stage projects that you'd otherwise have to babysit across several sittings with Opus. Or if you are trying to work on a project and you don't genuinely know what the end output should look like, Fable is really good with that because it helps kind of break down multiple processes at once, and it's able to operate across those processes at the same time. What was shocking to me is nothing in these tests, the specific tests that we had, gave Fable a task that it clearly won outright against the other models, which I think is more of a testament to how sophisticated the other models are, not necessarily Fable. So if your actual job is mostly quick tasks with single well-defined reports, then you may not actually need to use Fable at all. Pick the model by the job that you need back, not by which one sounds the most impressive on paper. Let me know which model that you default using to. I'd be curious to know.